Hey everybody. Hey, can you tell where I am? I've been waiting to get here for a long time. I was waiting for a calm day. We got Old Glory waving above me there, and it's a little bit of a northwest wind today, but it's not too windy. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So, can you tell where I am? On top of Old Smoky. No, it's not on top of Old Smoky. It's on top of Elk Mound. So we have the city of Elk Mound, the village maybe it is. It's adjacent to St. James, actually. There's a St. Joseph Parish in Elk Mound. And that's where I am. So this is, they call it the castle. I was gonna walk up, it's a little hard, it was hard to place the camera in a good spot. So maybe I can walk down with it and you can get a sense when I'm done. But so this is a monument built in memorial of all of the rural letter carriers who've died, who served Dunn County. So Dunn County is Menominee, it's the county west of Eau Claire County. Anyway, wanted to get up here, it's beautiful, isn't it? There's another observation deck I'd like, in a real calm day, I'd like to get up to Hoffman Hills and do a shot from there, but anyway, so that's where I am. Yeah, I have to say I feared biking up here because it's a steep hill and pretty sustained. I didn't time myself, but it's probably like 3 minutes of just pretty hard pedaling uphill in my easiest to pedal gear. So that's always a worry, right? I thought it was my second easiest to pedal gear and it was getting hard to pedal. And so I clicked my shifter, thinking I'd get one more gear of ease. And it wasn't. I was already in the lowest gear or top gear or whatever. And so that was kind of a bad feeling. It's like, oh, it won't get any easier. I have to just do this. It's kind of a little bit like life sometimes, right? Whether it's our bodies that just kind of go wrong or a work project or something. Sometimes there's those days or maybe years. It's like, this isn't going to get any easier. I need to just muscle through this. And ask for God's help and ask for the help of others. There's different ways of getting through things than just trying harder ourselves. But anyway, you get what I mean. It's kind of a bad feeling. Like, oh, I can't see an easier way out of this. I got to just do it. I remember I had really bad allergies. I went to California for a whole year when I was 3 years ordained to finish a degree. Anyway, I was in California for a whole year. And I came back and it must have done something to my allergens or whatever resists allergies, because my first year back, I had spring allergies like I'd never had in my life before, and just miserable. And I remember one conversation I had with an allergist on the phone. She gave me some pills and it just barely made a dent in my symptoms. I said, I don't know, I remember when I was a kid, I think my brother got shots for hay fever or something. So I called and I said, do you think I could get shots? Because these, would they help? And she said right away, people die from shots. And I go, I don't know, I guess I've heard people get them. She goes, no, I won't give shots to my patients because there's been reactions, people die. I'm like, okay. I said, well, I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm kind of talking, well, is there anything you can do? I mean, a stronger dose or something? And she goes, well, you're on one of our strongest medications. And I said, are you telling me I just have to suffer? And I didn't mean it as like an angry, but she said, yes. I thought, oh gosh, okay, all right, lesson learned. I'll just try to suffer with grace. Fortunately, the symptoms have eased up over the years, but you know, that's true, right? Sometimes we just have to suffer. It's where we become friends of the crucified Lord. You know, we share that suffering. I've had a pretty suffering-free life the last few months, but anyway, I'm just back from Rochester. My niece's wedding was out in Rochester, New York, not in Minnesota. Back from that, it was good. The only sad thing, I'm Mary if you're watching, but I was going to get together with Mary. She's in our book club on Zoom. She's like a virtual parishioner out in Rochester. When the days when her parish wasn't streaming, she found St. James and liked it. And her husband Peter and her came out in June to be with Peter's family, who was from Minnesota, and they spent the couple weekends with us at St. James. It's such great joy. So I was going to happen to live in the same city as my brother, so I was going to spend a night and a day with them. And unfortunately, Mary took kind of sick. Hope you're feeling better, Mary. But I was able to get together with Peter, had a nice lunch on the Erie Canal. So that was pretty exciting. I had got me excited for my trip to the Holy Land. I had the appetizer plate of hummus, baba ganoush, falafel, with pita bread, and then I threw in some Greek food too. A little what do they call it? The grape leaves, rice wrapped in grape leaves. Dolmades, I think they're called. Anyway, so it got me pumped up for going to Jerusalem in February. Okay. Hey, I got a bunch of parish news though. I'm not just gonna ramble about nothing for all talk, right? So we want to start the Children's Liturgy of the Word again. That's that ministry in the parish where I think it's something like K through 5th or some. There's a younger set are invited to, they don't have to, they can stay with their parents, but they're invited to leave when the readings begin. And they have like a Children's Liturgy of the Word and presentations, and then they come back like after the homily. So they call that CLOW, Children's Liturgy of the Word. And we could use some volunteers for that. We're going to start it up again. Ruth has been doing that for years and leading it. Sounds like she's willing to give it a go, but she's hoping to get out of it. So she's put her energies into other stuff in the parish. Her children are older. So yeah, we are looking for someone that might be able to kind of coordinate the whole thing. But yeah, we're also just could use a bunch of volunteers, including high school students could do that. So anyway, but if it's a high school student, you have to be with a parent, I guess. I forget all the restrictions, but hey, if you're interested in that, that's that ministry I did, which I found difficult, but a lot of people, it's their gift. They like being with little kids and doing that. And so that's what I did when I was 23 years old in my parish in Seattle. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. November 19th. Mark your calendars now. It's a Beth Cerny production, Italian dinner. Eat in. So we're gonna, I don't know if it'll be family style or what, but abbondanza. There'll be an abundant meal of homemade sauce and meatball, sausage. I don't know if she has the menu set, but it's always homemade pasta and desserts. It's so good. So there is one plan, November 19th, a little bit away, but worth mentioning. Newsletter will be coming. Our deadline to get our stuff to Christine is I think the 12th of September, so she'll get it mailed at the end of that week. Some dates coming up. Couple dates. I want to do the few parish bike rides, beautiful fall. I'm actually hoping to get out maybe this weekend for a parish bike ride. I'll just announce it at the masses if we do. And then I looked at the Packers schedule. I know we have limited attendance when the Packers are playing, so I'll work it around that. And no offense to the Vikings fans. That's going to be a game, huh? This Sunday? I'm already nervous about it. Packers and Vikings. Wow. Are you nervous about it? I probably not. That's good if you're not. But I am, though. I'm actually nervous about it. And that for sure, though, the next week we'll have a parish bike ride. So the 11th and the 18th. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll have a couple in October. Outdoor masses. I put that I'm supposed to say it, but I don't know when. 24th. Next one's the 24th of September. I didn't mean to point, sorry. The 20. We were going to do it. We had a couple things get in the way, but the sun is starting to set earlier, right? So we're going to have a sunset mass. I told Mary that we could sing sunrise, sunset, sunrise from Fiddler on the Roof for a communion song, but or presentation of the gifts would be better time for that probably. So September 24th at 6 o'clock, we'll have mass outside behind the rectory. And I believe the sun sets, well, that maybe toward the end of that mass, the sun will set, but not even. The sun shouldn't set till after 7. But the sunset mass will be October 8th. We're going to try it. So 2 weeks after the 24th, we'll try another 6 o'clock mass. We're wondering if we should switch it to Sunday at noon, but so, okay. So we have a couple outdoor masses coming up. Youth choir, Emma Campbell, our intern for the year. She's going to work with our youth. So if you have some youngsters who want to maybe be involved in the singing, we're trying to coordinate that with that Children's Liturgy of the Word, which I already talked about in the beginning. thanks to George, Father Shevs, for being with us last weekend. I know that I tuned in and watched much of it. I actually worshiped live at the city where I was in, Penyan. Yeah, I see he just did the blessing and everybody clapped. So he must have done a great blessing. No, they clapped because they love him. A lot of people came from he was their pastor for years and years in Newman. So I didn't get to talk to him since, but I'm sure it was a happy time for him to be with everybody this weekend. I thank him for coming. We have parent meetings with me. I talk about sin and forgiveness as their second graders prepare for the sacrament of reconciliation. So we'll have that on the 14th and 21st, I think, of September. So our second grade parents. We got some cracks in our terrazzo flooring when you walk in the 11th Street doors. And my Kolstad's contacted the terrazzo people, the people that refinished the floor where the communion rails had been, and they're going to come in. At least we got to repair those, I think, just to upkeep the parish. But they also would be able to just, they have the equipment where they can just scrub away all the old wax, lay down some new wax, really make the church floor look like new. We'll have 4 different proposals. One proposal is actually take all the pews out and then redo the whole floor where the pews are. That seems like a lot of expense maybe that we don't need to incur, but we could do the whole school hallway, all that. They can just really make that set sort of that green marbly floor that we have in the church and in the school hallway and in the entrance, 11th Street entrance and the parking lot entrance in the back. So that, anyway, we're going to get some quotes on that. That'll be nice, I think, to repair and enhance. Okay. That's most of my stuff. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this deepest desire. Last week I just kind of sort of threw the idea out there that we heard a Jesuit priest talk to us about, it was on YouTube. He was talking to us, I guess, but he didn't know he was. He said a lot of people just think when they're trying to figure out what God wants them to do, there's what God wants us to do, but there's what we want to do. We got to try to force our will to be more like God's will. And he said, really, St. Ignatius' approach is very, very different from that. It's that our God's desire for us, God's will for us, is our own deepest desire for ourselves. We don't always see it because we get kind of mixed up. Our desires get disordered. We put our thirst for finite things, our sensual appetites, ahead of our thirst for the infinite, of ultimate things. And so with a little breathing, with a little meditation, prayer, soul searching, we come to find the deepest desire. I was doing our evening prayers last night, and I forget the quote, but it was something like, I just got out of it, just simple things, to reject evil, to find evil distasteful, and to run after and to seek what is good. It's just simple. It's basic morality: avoid evil and do good, right? And but so much is of our appetites. Can you and it can be hard. I mean, like, Cheetos aren't evil, but if you're eating like 3 bags a day, it'd be good if you could kind of adjust your desires and say, well, on a surface level, yeah, I want the grease and the cheese, but on a heart level, it's not helping my life. It's kind of hurting my life, and I to find that distasteful instead of something you crave and want. So that's it can be kind of tricky stuff. But let's see. I want to talk about these school kids at the end too, if I remember. First school mass today of the year. But like, what's our deepest desire? So these surface desires. You might say, well, I gotta get this car. I gotta get this certain car. So I want it. Well, why? You can ask, well, what's underneath that desire? Is there a deeper desire underneath it? You just want a car, and it might be because you want to feel successful. Like, if I have this car, my parents will think I'm successful. I can attract people I want to date. I could, I'll be successful. And why do you want to be successful? Well, because I want to be admired, maybe. Well, why do you want to be admired? What's underneath that? Well, maybe because I want to be loved. And it's funny because you probably want to be loved. Your deepest desire, you want to be loved for who you are, not for what you have. And then maybe having that thought, right? Maybe say, well, maybe I don't need that car that much. Maybe I just need to be an open person and loving other people and open to them, and they love me for who I am. I love them for who they are, and the other stuff just isn't that important. Sometimes it can be tricky. Like what was it? Like what's our deepest desire? So if you're trying to decide between two jobs, and one maybe is something you really have a passion for, and the other one pays twice as much, and you say, well, and maybe you're a family woman or man, and it's like, well, what do I do? Do I do this thing that I think will be more self-fulfilling if I do it, or I do this thing that would earn more income, and maybe I could provide more opportunities for my children or for my spouse, or and what does God want me to do in that situation, and that can be hard. And it's asking those deeper questions. It's like, well, why do I want the more money? What are the things? And kind of list it out. Or when I follow this thing that's my passion, like something artistic or something, what is my hope that will happen there? And maybe they would align. Maybe what would happen with why you want to be artistic is you want to really find fulfillment, to have something touch your heart. But maybe you could have your heart touched in that way when you take care of your family in different ways that you can with extra income, or maybe you decide, what I want this extra income for is that we can take more. I don't know. I don't want to, judge anybody but my examples, but things that are not really central to life, but are fun. And, maybe what you really desire is just to have a loving family that's close and appreciates the essential things in life, the ultimate things in life, that knows how to serve one another and be kind. And maybe you don't need that extra income for that. So then you do follow more your passion. But it's all these kind of discerning questions about what's really my deepest desire. What do I want? What are the good things? What are the desires that God planted in my heart? And in that example of where it could be either one. I don't think, either one is like a bad thing. So just say in my own life, it was it was a hard truth to learn that my deepest desire is God's desire for me. Because I wanted just to figure out what God wanted me to do and do it, because that would be simple. And I spent 3.5 years in the seminary. Just God, tell me what you want me to do. I'm going to sit here and be quiet for 30 minutes, and you put that idea in my head, and I'll do it. It just never happened. And I've told the story in church before, but basically I just locked myself in a chapel voluntarily. There's no real lock. I said, I'm not leaving until God sort of gives me an indication. This is my last year of seminary, and I said, God, what do you want me to do? I've been here 3.5 years. I came here with an open mind, open heart, as best as I could be open. And so what's the story? Let me know. I feel like I've done my part. Now you let me know. And what I really felt God said was, and it says, I don't care what you do. You can leave, go be an accountant like your dad, or you can go to some other graduate school, or you can take any job you want. Just be faithful. That's all I want you to be close to me. Be faithful. And it's good with me, whatever you do. If you want to be a priest, that's great. I'll support you. I'll ease your fears and be with you. But it's up to you. And so I was like, honestly, when I first sensed God saying, I don't care what you do, I thought that was just my mind playing games with me. But the more it kind of kept coming back, and the more I thought about it, it was like, and the more I realized it was not what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear yay or nay. It's just kind of take the responsibility off me. And when I realized that was hard and not what I wanted, then I figured, well, this is really the voice of God, I think. So then I had to take a week. So what do I want to do? What is it that I want to do? And I decided I wanted to be a priest. I thought, I wrote down a couple of reasons here. But I thought it would use my skills well. I thought it was something unusual. I guess I like doing things off the beaten path, like not what everybody does. And so it fit that kind of personal quirk. And I thought it would make me feel most alive in God, just kind of most alive and most interesting life I could lead. Because of what you get to experience as a priest. So yes, anyway, so far so good. So that's what I wanted, and I chose it. I think it's a healthier place to start. I was going to lead with this stuff with the kids today. We had child's mass, and so at recess, I love having the kids at recess. When I get bored at the office, I go outside and they're playing, and it's fun to see them. They're usually happy to see me. And beautiful day, you can tell, to be in school and be with your friends. And the one kid, Ethan, came up to me running and said, "Father, why are you wearing that dress in church?" So I'm like, well, it's not really a dress, Ethan. It's called a chasuble, and well, it's just the official vestment, garment that priests wear when we say mass. Oh, okay. And he runs off. We have this other student. He's very precocious, quite a thinker, and he just instead of just like, "Hi, Father Tom, give me a hug," he almost doesn't even say hello. He goes, "Father Tom, I think there's at recess. I think the real celebrity, you know what I think a real celebrity is?" I said, "What? No. Real celebrity are people that go out and feed the poor and take care of people that are hurting. Those are the real celebrities." I said, right on. That sounds good. And then he says, "And what else? Technology prevents friendship." I said, "What?" He said, "Technology prevents friendship." I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he goes, well, and he starts getting into this long story. And I was trying to get home for lunch, but it's just about basically two people. And this one kid was just always playing games on his phone and wouldn't talk to, his friend. His friend just kind of had to sit there and watch him play games. I thought, well, that's pretty insightful. You got some good ideas there. What's really important in life, taking care of one another. And how our little games, our little obsessions and compulsions with technology can get in the way of good relationships. So anyway, it's good to hear our youngsters having deep thoughts like that, right? So, hey, I'm gonna just put this down and give you a little look at that. And give you a little 360 here, huh? So this is now looking, there's the flag, right? Where's the flag? There it is. So this is looking due south, okay? All right, and we're gonna switch here, look back. See those white buildings in the far horizon? That's pretty darn close to St. James. There's a little water tower, I bet you cannot see it. It's way in the far horizon. There's like 3 clumps of white buildings way out there, past the farms. The middle white clump, if you look beyond that, you can see a little water tower. That'd be really near St. James. And then this is kind of the, accessories of now you're looking at north, and we got some trees. And back to the west here, so. Hey, God bless you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the view from Elk Mound. I don't think I'll take this down the stairs with me, but you had a good view. Okay? Though the mountains may fall and the hills turn to dust, yet the love of the Lord will stand as a shelter for all who will call on his name, sing the praise and the glory of God. God bless you.